Speaking of fiery personalities, oh Lord, you got us playing through your computer.
Do I?
Oh yeah, because we're just definitely hearing ourselves back.
How could that be?
I don't know how that could be, but I'm hearing myself just seconds later. Where are you?
What about this?
That sounds perfect.
There it
Yep,
is.
there it
You know what it is? It's this echo cancellation thing. It's like on and off, and like different people
Oh.
need it on versus off. Sorry.
Where are you?
I'm at the crib, but I just
Oh,
was
just a
watching
different
film.
room.
So what happened was last night we were remote at BetMGM. And so I had to be in front of my TV so that I could watch the Nuggets game. See, I'm not going to even call it the Laker game. It's the Nuggets game. And so I had to sit on my couch to watch it. And so I had this whole thing set up, and I didn't know if we were going to be remote today or not. We're not. We're going back to the studio, but I hadn't set things back up to the desk. So it's all set for right here.
Okay, I got you. You're listening to D-Lo and Casey on KIFM West Sacramento, 98.5 FM, KRXQ HD2 Sacramento, ESPN 1320. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Trysta Krick of BetMGM in the Heat Check podcast, joining us as she does. It's Trysta Tuesday, every Tuesday here on D-Lo and Casey. You brought up the Nuggets game last night. 4-0. Did you think that was happening?
I didn't know. I did think that Denver would win. I didn't think it was going to be a sweep because LeBron getting swept is just not in my consciousness. It's not something that I could even fathom. I think after they won game 3, though, I thought that they would win game 4. In fact, during the show last night, I said, oh, Denver's an 11.5-point underdog. I mean, take that now. They've got a run in them. They've got a run in them for sure.
They were that big. Yeah, because I thought I had Denver in like 5. That's what I thought Denver would.
I mean live during the game, they went to 11.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow. That is no wonder Mike Malone is always pissed off.
Yeah.
That's an 11.5. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
I think everyone knew that run was coming. Some sort of thing from Denver was coming.
Yeah. Like, what do you think? We have all this time off now in the Western Conference, but the Eastern Conference, do you think that Boston has any shot here to fight and get back in it?
No, I don't. They're softer than the Lakers are. I don't think that they have any shot. I think they lay down and they stay down, and that's really what it is. This roster has all the pieces to be elite. We've seen what they can do when they're operating on all full cylinders. They just can't do it consistently. I don't know what it is. I'm seeing reports now from Woj that this locker room still hasn't gotten over the way that they fired, the way they did our man, Ime Udoka, wrong. They're still mad about that. They don't have any of the information that they were promised. The public information, they have the same information that we do, which is just like none, like basically zero. Like, we'll let you know there's more, but you just need to trust us. And so they're like, the fact that they haven't gotten over that makes sense because they bonded with them. He was the only one that got them to be Hard Rocks. Like, one of the assistants I went to middle school with, Aaron Miles. And when they got hired, I was like, you guys are going to turn these boys into dogs. And that's what they did. And now they're just puppies again. Joe Mazzulla's out there letting them play through their mistakes. What's a head coach even for if you don't take a timeout in the middle of a run? And I think they're a little bit salty for good reason. Plus the roster, I don't know how much chemistry and meshing is going on. Malcolm Brogdon spilling the tea, basically saying we don't have an identity. We were getting dog walked all playoff series and we didn't play well and we're just lucky to be here. I mean, what more can we make out of it? They're just they're the best roster that is in the most disarray.
Yeah, I think you used the perfect word earlier. They're soft. Like you're still, I mean, and I don't want to, I mean, you can stall out a lot of guys, including Joe Mazzulla, who you talk about what's a head coach for. This dude was a second row assistant 2 years ago. He fell into this job 7 days before, the season started. And James brought this up yesterday, and it might be their only out. But Brad Stevens probably should have coached this team this year. That it would have bought you time. They would have been familiar, but it didn't dawn on me until James said that this team, who is a title contender, has had 3 head coaches in the last 3 years.
They could potentially. Oh snap! I just spilled so much water. We'll get it later.
Do you need to go get something?
Nope, it's fine. I mean, I know if it was at your house, I would.
Well, you would.
On my little rug, I think it's okay. I think we're okay.
You have this thing for spilling water now that you mention that. You just spill water all over the place. That's fine.
When did I spill water at your place?
I think you did. I can't remember. I feel like you did.
I am feeling assaulted. I am feeling accused of things I never did. If I spilled anything, Damien, it would have been Coke Zero. So
no, that's true. That's facts. That's
and
facts.
You would have remembered things being sticky, Damien. So no, I did not have.
That's pause, but okay.
Pause. Chatty House, don't do me like that. Whatever you're doing right now, just stop it. What was I at?
Brad Stevens, 3 head coaches, and I think what we're gonna say.
They could potentially have 4 on the payroll at once.
Yeah. Oh man.
For an organization that I believe they moved Daniel Tice so that they could avoid the luxury tax. This is not an ownership group that wants to spend a considerable amount of money. They're messy, bro. They're messy.
What do you do with that, Trysta? Because we're looking at 2 guys. One's going to get like 300 and something million. One's going to get 250 something million. Like, these are guys that, they're still your core, and should we look at it that they're failing right now? Or, they are in the Eastern Conference Finals. So it's a disappointment, but it's also not a disappointment because this is actually a team that keeps going. And like, how do you manage that aspect when it comes to to Tatum and Brown, and how much money you're going to have to pay them for a team that doesn't seem like they can really get over the hump?
I think you need to take a hard look and really get the truth on those 2 as a duo. Not like whether they work on the basketball floor, because they do. They're elite wings that play defense and have good shot creation. And Damien and Casey talked about this, I think 2 weeks ago, when it was like JB as a secondary scorer is one of the best, right? Off of Tatum. How much do they like being with one another? Like, they're completely different people. As we know, like D'Lo and Casey are different people, but they work really well together. Like, does the JB JT duo, is that a fit for them? Like, is that what they want? Like, when they look at themselves in the mirror, why isn't it working culturally? Like, why do they not like each other? Not just JB and JT, but like, who is the tree shaker in the mix? It's either causing the chaos or exposing the chaos. I think as a roster, though, from a basketball perspective, they've got a lot of good pieces. Adding Malcolm Brogdon was huge. I think Al Horford is done. I think you kind of got to say he's a bench guy now. And you need to figure out a way to find a coach that can manage the rotations in this roster to fit every different matchup that you're going to get. Obviously Miami's a bad matchup for them. That's why it went 7 last year. But I don't know. I think I would be very, very cautious to trade either one of those dudes, though. Those guys would fit on any team, and all 29 teams would want them. Either one.
Denver beating the Lakers is and should be about the Denver Nuggets. It feels like Miami beating Boston, though, is about Boston. Like, yeah, what Miami's doing is really good. Jimmy's a dog. Eric Spoelstra's the best coach in basketball. But you just spent 10 minutes laying out the Boston Celtics, how good they are, everything that works for them. Why is it failing so much? This is one of those series where, it'll be intriguing to see what the Lakers do after losing 4 in a row. And we'll get to LeBron's, press conference remarks here in just a minute. But it feels like with the Celtics, there's probably change coming in some form or fashion. There's probably change coming potentially as soon as tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know what that change is because for so
Me neither.
long it was like they're not going to move on from Joe Mazzulla. They signed him to a multi-year deal, a 4-year deal, including this year. They've got Ime Udoka still on the payroll to some degree. They've got Brad Stevens. Keith Smith told us last night they've got Brad Stevens still on a coaching salary too.
Well, that's weird. Both of those are
He
weird
double
because,
dips.
yeah, why wouldn't Ime Udoka wouldn't like? I mean, do they have to pay him the difference between his
Maybe I don't
the
know.
I don't
Rockets
know. They
salary
didn't
and
violate his contract
yeah,
for
it
conduct
fire
unbecoming.
with cause? Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'd have a tough time believing that that's going to hold up. That he would have
I
a.
don't I don't know if he was fired with cause though.
I don't
Otherwise,
think
they
he
would have.
was.
Yeah, otherwise they would have suspended him. They wouldn't have suspended him, right? Like, I mean, I think that's a very murky situation for Boston, given the fact that he was able to get a job right away and he almost got the Brooklyn job too. So yeah, I don't know what the change is. Like, is a coach who and Brad Stevens is not good as a coach.
Oh,
He's not
he's not?
good at this. No,
Oh,
I mean, you're talking about I think I had a whiteboard in my apartment. And I had just on like the only thing on the whiteboard, swear on my mom's life, the only thing on the whiteboard that I kept track of was how many blown fourth quarter leads that Brad Stevens gave up in 2019 and 2020. It was over 35.
that's fascinating. 35?
It was over 35.
Oof.
That's
So this
brutal.
has been a theme. This has been something that is currently like and past in the culture of Boston. They let leads, fourth quarter leads, slip through like sand through their fingers.
Well,
I
wait a
don't see
minute.
how
If they did that with Brad Stevens, I don't remember what they did last year. They're doing it with Joe Mazzola. Are we sure it's the coach?
That's what I'm saying, guys. Like, I don't know. Like, they didn't really do it that much with Ime, except in the first half when they were 500. And then he was just really just burying them in the media over and over and over.
Mhm.
He was calling them soft. He was saying they don't pass the ball, that they don't get back on defense, that they're not pushing the ball in transition. And they got to the finals. Like, you could say whatever you want about the drop coverage against Steph Curry and like that adjustment being kind of abysmal, but I don't really know how you stop Steph Curry overall. Like, that's many coaches have tried and failed at that. But yeah, this is a pattern with these dudes, the dudes that they have. I don't know if like JT's not that tough. I thought JT could turn into a dog, and he's just not. Don't show up in an all-white suit and get blown out by 25, 30 points.
Yeah,
You can't do I mean, you gotta show up much more nondescript if you think that's even a possibility.
that's like when LeBron showed up in that black suit the night he broke the record. If he hadn't broke the record and
Oh,
wasted that
yes.
black suit, like you can't do that. Like when the photo of LeBron walking into the building, it was like, oh, LeBron's going for 40, so he can break the record tonight. He went for like 30 in the first half and assured that he broke the record. Yeah, Tatum, you can't do that. That's a huge L. That's it. That's almost as bad as anything you've done on the basketball floor. You can't show up dressed like that and lose.
I don't have a white suit to wear to anything. So I'm not sure what we do with the white suit. I know I'm not supposed to wear one after Labor Day, but
That's cap.
you're not gonna see me showing up in a white suit. I don't know what happens if if this whole thing ends tonight. First of all, we have a break, but who do you like in the finals? Because this is going to be like two super, super gritty
We got
teams.
8 days to talk about it.
Yeah. Maybe we
It's
should
like a
just
Super Bowl
have, you know,
build.
just like, yeah.
Yeah, I hate sleeping on Boston. I really do because I just keep being wrong. I counted up how much money you would have made if you would have put $100 on the series price of series 1 against Milwaukee and then 100 on game 1 and then continue to roll that original 100 over. The amount of money you would make with a $200 investment if they close out tonight. Just guess.
Oh, I have no idea. You know,
$2,500.
Come on, man.
2,500. If you just backed Miami every game on the money line, they were 8-3 on the money line as underdogs. That
Have you
never.
bet Miami once?
Yeah. I bet him a
Oh.
bunch. Yeah, I bet him a bunch. But I mean, I didn't bet him plus 475 for the series against Boston or against Milwaukee. I bet him against the Knicks, and I bet him game to game against Boston, just because after game one, you're kind of like, oh yeah, they kind of know what's going on here, and they kept being huge dogs to Boston. But yeah, I think it's Denver. I do. I think it's Denver, but nothing would surprise me. I think this thing goes all the way to 7. Denver hasn't lost at all at home. Like, will they? That's been an interesting storyline. Miami has beat every single team in game 1 on the road. That's like a battle of strength right there. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Miami, who they beat Milwaukee? Who else did they beat?
Milwaukee at home, New York at home,
New York,
Boston
that's the
at
other
home.
one. Okay.
Yep.
So, yeah, there's a very real possibility that Miami gets 2 of the 3 coaches they face fired. That's wild.
And if Miami
That is
wins the
wild.
title, they would have beaten the number 1 team, like best record in basketball, second best record in basketball, and third best record in basketball.
Oof.
Milwaukee, Boston, and Denver.
Huh.
You think LeBron is really considering retirement?
No, I don't.
Me either.
This is whack. Guys, like, I am so, you guys probably saw it on my Twitter. I'm so over it. I'm over it. I'm done. Like, I am hooked right now on Snowfall.
Oh, that's good.
Such a
That's
good show.
That's
And
good.
but so the reason that I like to watch other things other than sports is it helps me and my brain come up with like other crazy analogies. So this is the analogy that I decided on today that is probably going to sound insane, especially to James. But this is where I'm at on the current state of our NBA discourse, especially ESPN and FS1. I believe that the low level discourse is akin to like crack rock in the 80s, and it's quick. It is like the lowest level in terms of like, you don't need a lot of work. It's cheap. They keep feeding it to us. We need more and more to continue to feel that same level of emotional high that we got from the first hot take that we got. It keeps getting stepped on and chopped up to lower and lower common denominators, and casual fans just keep eating it up, and they continue to fiend for more. And it's like a sad state watching fans in this state, and it's a sad state watching Greeny try to feed us whether the Lakers should sit their stars in game 5. So that's where I'm at on it.
Greeny's Teddy and Stephen A's Franklin.
I think Jimmy Pitaro is Franklin. Jimmy Pitaro,
that's very fair.
head of ESPN is Franklin, and you've got like Shannon is the uncle, Jerome.
Yeah, he's definitely young. Yeah,
I told you this like on Friday. Like, they've force fed us this, that we have to have these major markets, and then when they don't have it, it's like, what do you do? You know, even like, again, like we talked about, like Denver won in 4, they swept, and LeBron puts out, "Oh, I might retire." Like,
that's not fair.
But it's still like, let
kind
them
of
have their moment. They just kicked your ass. Let them have their moment. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. And it's like, people will eat it up. And I even track what ESPN decided they want to talk about. It was like A, B, C, D, E, F, G block, all. Will Kyrie come to LA? What's up with LeBron? What's up with Bronny? Like, will Boston trade Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum? Like, everything besides like Jokic is the best player on the planet. And Jamal Murray is an all NBA guy that's never won all NBA. I swear to God, bro, I don't think these producers love basketball. They just love narratives. They just love the storylines.
Oh,
they don't actually like the ball going in the hoop. Like, they don't care about a hezzy. They don't care about Jokic off the top of his forehead threes. They don't love the game like we do.
How much do you think by the way, Did you guys see the beginning of Game 4, like the video intro to Game 4?
No.
It was all LeBron.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God.
Not the Lakers, not the Nuggets. It was all LeBron James. But how much of the national narrative, how much of this TV stuff, this crack peddling of the Lakers or the Celtics or LeBron James is because there's a demand for it versus
That's what Franklin said.
right versus the fact that
They
they're
created the demand.
creating the demand.
Yeah.
I think just like when Franklin
Your
goes up to
analogy is
Oakland,
flawless, by the way. Like it absolutely works.
he went up to Oakland and he was like, "It's coming anyway.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring this recipe down to LA and I'm gonna serve it up." And there's demand for it. And then you look around the community, and Mel is instead of going to Spelman, is on the crack pipe in a crack house. It's like, stay away, guys, stay away.
And the Oakland in this scenario is like Twitter.
Yes.
You look at Twitter. What's everyone talking about? LeBron. Okay, well, blocks A through F tomorrow will be LeBron, the Lakers, and
radio stations do that too, man. I've heard
okay.
95.7 The Game, friend of show, like their narratives come a lot of times, like sometimes through what is trending on Twitter. That's not real life.
They're not doing well over there, so just let them live. They're having a really tough time dealing with what's going on.
Well,
with
now
the Warriors.
they're shifting it to, oh, can we trade Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins and the number 19 pick for Jaylen Brown? It's like, man, come on now. Come on.
The delusions never stop.
Jaylen Brown is going to cost you 4 first-round picks and 2 really. He's going to be right on the cusp of what Kevin Durant got traded for. I hate to tell Warriors fans, but that is not Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole and the number 19 pick.
No, I mean, I think if Andrew Wiggins wasn't soft as well, like maybe it's a different story. But because Andrew Wiggins, when he's playing well, is a really good two-way wing. But Andrew Wiggins is sort of similar to JT and JB in the sense that, like, you know, he's not like going to be a number 1 or a number 2 for you. He's a 3 or a 4. And sometimes he's a 2 and sometimes he's non-existent. So yeah, I think we're being fed this stuff because they believe that we want it, but we don't know, like these people don't know anything else. They're just continuing to like put the rock in their glass pipes and just continue. And then you look up and it's been 3 hours. You've been watching Get Up and First Take, and now this just in, and like, you know, and all of a sudden your day is gone.
Just like crack, you've wasted your life away.
Correct.
Sitting there watching those shows.
I wasn't sure that you guys would be on board with this, and I'm not sure that James quite is yet, but I'm glad that you're with me.
Oh, it 100% works.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You've watched Snowfall, right?
No, I don't think so.
But Snowfall.
I still get like I understand the concept here.
Snowfall is a must, but 2, the analogy is absolutely perfect.
And the more you realize it, you look around and you're just like, wow, look at all these base heads. You know? Like,
oh yeah. Well,
wow.
Boy, the Warriors series opened us up to a lot of base heads.
Yes.
A lot of them. That was so obvious. Like, oh yeah, you're re-signing Stephen A. Smith stuff. Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
My co-host kind of like that.
Hold
on, really quick. They tried to say, this is like sometimes my co-host tries to peddle it, and I just literally opt out on the show. Last night it was, if LeBron wins 4 straight against the Nuggets, has he solidified himself as the GOAT? And I said, guys, this is a betting show. I am out. This is the lowest. We are now bargain basement take hunting in the middle of a game. They're not winning this game. They're about to get swept.
But that was the narrative coming in. If anyone can do it, it's LeBron. Not the Boston Celtics, who are a better team. It's LeBron.
I hate it.
It's the 7 seed that had to go through the play-in that will somehow magically beat the number 1 seed in the Western Conference with the 2-time MVP and should have been 3-time MVP. It will be LeBron.
It's like Marvel. People really just do believe that LeBron's like Superman, that he's like Captain America. He just can't be killed. No matter what's going on, he will always prevail because the script writers make it so.
Yeah, we were
He's more
talking
like
earlier.
Tony Stark.
We don't judge LeBron versus other NBA players anymore. We judge LeBron versus previous versions of LeBron. We measure him against the 2012 version of LeBron James and the 2008 version of LeBron James and the 2016 version of LeBron James. But that's fascinating. Just incredible. ESPN is peddling crack. Amazing stuff from Trysta. This is the type of stuff you will only get during our conversations with Trysta Krick. We appreciate you so much. This is always a blast. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. How long are you around for, James?
I don't know. As long as I can sit here in this chair.
Where is Kenny? When's Kenny coming back? What's happening with him?
Kenny will probably be back with us next. He'll be back. He'll be back on Tuesday. He'll definitely be back on Tuesday.
They're taking the weekend off.
We're taking a lengthy Memorial Day break from like Friday to Monday. And Kenny's at the house doing a couple of things. Just take the rest of the week and we'll just come back strong in June. And there won't be a finals game played before then, or there's a good chance there won't be an NBA game played before then. So we'll be fine.
But listen, let me tell you, Elena Deladon plus 600 to win MVP. The Mystics, the Aces, maybe one of the best WNBA teams ever assembled. Kelsey Plum out there killing, Chelsea Gray out there killing.
I'm sorry, Brianna Stewart just dropped 42 and 45 and 12 the other night. Yeah, there's some good. The great thing about the super team era in the WNBA beginning is there's only a handful of teams, so all of them are starting to be really good. You could make a great roster of players that have been cut.
No doubt.
Is a shame.
Yeah, they need to expand.
Yes,
that. I mean, it kind of goes back to like the old Comets teams that were so good.
Yeah,
wow.
The super teams.
I miss the Comets teams,
and they're not even in existence, right?
No,
nope. They're gone.
They've been gone they were gone before Sacramento was.
Yeah,
they've been gone for a while.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
especially since that was like one of the OG, good teams. To let them go, pretty sickening.
You know why they got rid of them? The owner got rid of him to piss off David Stern.
Oh, really?
There was an argument over where Yao's international money would go. Like the international NBA stuff, would it go to the NBA or would it go to the Houston Rockets? And David was like, "It's what are you talking about? It's NBA, like it's coming to us." And they're like, "Yeah, but Yao is our player. Like everything involving Yao Ming involves the Houston Rockets." And David's like, "That's great. Everything involving the Houston Rockets is the NBA." And I don't remember who the owner was at the time. So he's like, "Okay, fine. You know what I'll do? You want that? That's cool. I'm going to dump your little project over here." And he dumped the Houston. That's why he did it. He did it to be spiteful. That's the sole reason the Houston Rockets don't exist.
Comments. Yeah.
Houston. Well, the Houston Rockets might exist next year.
Barely.
They're on their way. But yeah, the Houston Comets. That's why the Houston Comets don't exist.
Are they on their way?
It's a good question. It's a good question. Are the Houston Rockets on their way?
I have no idea. I would say if they're trying to get Harden and Chris Paul, then they are slowly but surely.
Oh, wait, that's a thing. Wait, obviously the Harden thing is out there. They want Chris Paul. There
was some rumors about that today. Yeah, rumors flying. I don't know why. That would be maybe Tillman Fertitta likes him, but they've got a lot of cap space. I don't know who they go after. Maybe they try to go out and get Jaylen Brown. Maybe Jaylen Brown and Ime Udoka reunite and Jaylen takes less money because he's an activist and he wants to stick it to the Boston Celtics, and Houston's closer to home and more similar culture to Atlanta where he grew up. Like that would be interesting.
Yeah, but now taking less for Jaylen Brown is like, isn't that taking like a lot less? Like a lot?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I think it is. I think
Because
you'd have to do like a signing trade.
he became Supermax eligible when the
Yeah.
All NBA teams
Oh,
came
now I'm
out.
intrigued. Because
Like,
could you put a package together with Jalen Green and some of the, like, if they wanted to like go back to an older
why
age?
would Houston do that?
Well, because if they're bringing James, why would you bring James
I
Harden in?
don't know.
Why would you
I
want that
don't
guy
know. I
like
have
driving
no
the tour
idea.
bus with a bunch of young kids? Like I don't understand. Like
It
why.
makes no sense. When these things make no sense, I just go with logic. And if I'm wrong, then they were dumb and I wasn't.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like if James Harden is leading the Houston Rockets, they're clearly just money grabbing. They're just trying to get tickets sold. They don't care about winning.
Yeah,
Harden's still a ticket seller?
maybe.
Yeah, he's like treated
Oh.
like a god. He's like Stephon Marbury in China.
Oh my.
He's that big.
Wow.
Yeah, Harden is like Harden could run for mayor in Houston.
Well,
He might have to.
there's probably a lot to be said about the political process and all of that. But yeah, go ahead, James. Do your thing. I just don't understand what the Nuggets are doing. That's wild to me.
Rockets?
That's why do I? Yeah, the Rockets. I don't understand what the Rockets are doing. Let me ask you. I don't feel like we referenced the Nuggets at all in this conversation, and since we've already blown past the commercial break, I'll ask it. Are the Nuggets the best team for the Kings to model themselves after?
A big man who operates as like the facilitator and you run the offense through him. You've got wings that can shoot and a scoring secondary, not just a playmaker, but a guy who can get buckets. I think you could say that like that Jamal Murray and Jokic are like the blueprint if you're the Kings to say, okay, that's what we want Sabonis and Fox to be. I mean, it's a different, like Sabonis has a bit of a different game than Jokic. He's not as thick, right? He doesn't shoot as many threes. And I know Jokic doesn't shoot a ton of threes in the regular season, but we know he can. Yeah, I think that that's like, in terms of building a roster, for sure. Long, athletic, can do multiple things, can run 7-8 deep, a coach with a really high personality and a bunch of other guys who are, like James said to me when we were in San Francisco, like probably the most extroverted person on this roster is Malik Monk, which is saying a lot, right? You got a lot of guys who are just all about playing basketball. Yeah, I think that the Denver Nuggets should be the model for everyone moving forward, in the sense that you should draft good players at good value and not go crazy and trade all your pieces away for stars.
Oh yeah, no one's going to follow that. I want Sacramento to follow it. I just don't think other teams will follow it.
Yeah.
Look at what Phoenix just did.
They're dumb.
It's just not going to happen. Like Brooklyn, I think, is in a great position to be good next year.
Do you think, like we talked about this, the introverted Kings, isn't that the same thing we're looking at with the Nuggets?
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was saying. Yeah, like
yeah.
Jamal Murray's not like some crazy extrovert. He's not really wanting the spotlight. Neither is Jokic. Probably Aaron Gordon is the Malik Monk, like personality wise. We saw him make that rap video about D Wade not giving him a 10 in the dunk contest, deep cut, and like not drinking his wine or something like that. Like Aaron Gordon's the least nugget, but he's somehow gone on his own little quest and has sort of assimilated into the Denver culture.
The least nugget. Well, that's just, it goes to show you personality wise how important Malik is to Sacramento. Malik was such a big part of this team's attitude, the biggest part of this team's attitude. I saw a great question. I think John Bull and Jill were in like a Twitter thread that, and I think John asked just a question that's been stuck in my head for days now, is where would the Kings season have been without the beam? Like how, like, and when I read it, I totally understood it, because it's like the Kings were good. They were a 48 win team. coming back after years of whatever, but
Offensively, though, they were
Drewski
fun.
yelled "Light the Beam" in a Google Pixel commercial. Like the beam was a thing, is a thing. Would the Kings season have been different if the beam didn't exist? Would Trysta have flown out here in January for Kings Lakers if the beam didn't exist?
It's a great question because I think that you need something to galvanize a fan base, to get them excited more than just the concept of winning. Marketing is important. And I think the beam was one of the greatest NBA marketing campaigns for a team that we've had in a while. You need that. Like, I don't know what they would be. I think they probably would have won somewhere in the same neighborhood, but the pressing and the excitement, totally. But also pressing to light the beam, like that was, hey, we're gonna come in here and we're gonna light the beam. That's a different focus than we're just gonna go out here and get a win.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, you have to probably get to work, so we'll let you go.
All right, well, I'll clean up this water as well.
Good idea.
Yeah, you're out of water.
That's a good idea. We appreciate you as always. You're the best.
You guys are the best. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Trysta Krick right there. Bet MGM tonight. Heat Check podcast. Check that out wherever you get podcasts.